Hey folks, Mark here, Action Figuratorium, wishing everyone a happy holidays. And I have a fantastic toy review unboxing video for you today. This is from the Four Horsemen. This is their Christmas action figure that they released at the very beginning of December through a very special one day only at very specific times a day sale. I, of course, get in on all these sales. I subscribe to their newsletter and happily participate in picking up their toys that come out discounted at these sales. It's a great way to get these figures. A lot of times, Mythic Legions figures, that's the line that Four Horsemen makes. These guys are really hard to find after the fact, and so anytime you can get the figures at a very, very, very reasonable rate, I mean less than Big Bad Toy Store, less than what you probably could have got it through their original pre-order or the original Kickstarters, that kind of thing. And with this Krampus figure, it is no different. A lot of people are probably going to buy these, maybe just put them away, store them, let them accrue some value. I think that's pretty good, but for me, I'm going to open mine, I'm going to take it out, and we're going to take some pics of it. And that's all coming up today on Action Figuratorium. So this is the figure here. It is sealed up in this box. We're going to go over there to the white cyc and we're going to open it up, take a look at the packaging and everything. I also like to mention on all these videos about unboxing toys and sort of what they give you with it. This time I received a Christmas card with the action figure and a very attractive envelope that comes with it. It has a picture of the figure, Krampus, there on the back. This was not made out to me. This is a generic blank one for me to send to someone else. Or maybe if you were buying this Krampus as a gift for someone, you could then use the card. Or else they just figured that this is a cool thing to go with it to let people know that this is a holiday figure. Anyways, if you are watching this video sometime in the future and you're looking to get a Krampus action figure, you missed out on the sale, you're looking on places like eBay, things like that, know that they did come with a holiday card, and you should try and get the card if you're one of those collecting type persons. If you just want the figure because it's a cool figure, that's cool too. So we are going to move over yonder and we're going to start to check this thing out. All right, here we are on the main filming shooting stage. This is our figure, and I'm going to very gently with an X-Acto knife make some incisions in the plastic here to remove the outer layer. So let's start off talking about the packaging, as I always do. This looks extremely well done. Features the artwork and some cool background wallpaper, you could call it. And when you open it, it unfolds. So it's kind of like a book, right? I don't know if you guys can see this. Here, let me switch cams for you guys. So it's got a 3-panel like spine and front cover, back cover that gives you a kind of a diorama to put behind the figure for display or pics. The figure itself is in this plastic box, see-through packaging. Let's let's investigate that a little further, shall we? All right, I have opted to go in through the top. Others may have opted to go in through the bottom. I don't want to start any fights. Of course, there is this notice that they give saying to heat it up with a blow dryer. And we will be doing that because we spent, I wouldn't say a lot of money on this, but it's not the kind of thing that you can just go out and get another one to replace on the cheap. This box looks pretty well done. I know the Four Horsemen are a small indie group of sculptors who have been in the industry a long time. These are all products they're making for themselves, and they are really starting to hit a level of production that is beginning to rival the big boys. This is starting to look like packaging you'd find with like NECA or maybe even Mezco. I guess Mezco's a big boy now. I always thought of them as sort of indie guys, but they're probably not. They're probably not as big as anyone else. And here is the figure in its pack. Let's look at sort of what comes with it. You get the main guy. I can tell already he looks kind of cool. He seems to be sharing a lot of body parts of another figure I bought called Belphegorr. There is an unboxing video for the Belphegorr on my channel you can watch. So he comes with some bells, he comes with some handcuffs, there's a couple different hands, there's a little piece of rope or twine, and I believe if I go to the next layer underneath, we have his tail, which is packed in. And there is some kind of a basket that will go on the back of the figure, and there's some kind of a Led Zeppelin 4 group of sticks. Has some other terms. They're generally considered derogatory, and we're not going to use them on YouTube. But I just have to say that YouTube, no one cares. So I don't know what people are excited about, but for me, I'm really all into this figure right now. If you've seen unboxing videos before, specifically the ones on this channel, like where I look at the 12-inch, well, 12-inch anything, the Indiana Jones, the Lara Croft, Iron Maiden Eddie, they all have these twist ties on the back, and they try to put the twist ties in spots that would, because they know if you put them over characters or action figures with soft goods, i.e. clothes on, that the twist ties are going to leave an impression in the clothing. They usually try to put them around like the knees or the elbow areas or around the ankles. Not a factor in this case, but just making some small talk on the effects of twist ties and toys. This is one of the best ways to keep it in the package though, otherwise it would be loose when you get it, possibly broken. And so if it comes to broken versus twist ties, I think people are okay with twist ties. I think they are. All right, before we start cutting into this guy, we're going to hit it with a blow dryer, and then we're going to see what this cat looks like. All right, so the first thing that we have determined is that the tail is difficult to attach. The hole that is drilled is a bit smaller than the ball joint that goes in, so you will probably have to do some type of slight modification in some way, maybe bore this out a little bit, maybe shrink this down a little bit. Maybe you might find some type of an oil or a lubricant of some sort, help you attach it, but I was unable to attach the tail right out of the gate. Not a big deal, because I am a resourceful person and will actually find the best possible means, but this is one thing I've noticed, that the tail did not instantly go in. So upon looking at the figure, it is basically essentially a type of a repaint of the previous figure I bought, which was the Belphegorr, a demon figure, which this of course is also a demon figure, but with a different head sculpt and a different sort of piece that goes around the neck over the shoulders. And so what we should do for comparison is we should break out our Belphegorr and compare the two characters side by side and see exactly how the Four Horsemen have reused creatively parts to create a new character, which has been their original plan since day one. And this is it in action, folks. All right, so here's this. Again, there is a video where I take this guy out. So putting the two guys next to each other, we can see that they have the same hooves but different paint job, the same greaves, I guess you'd call them, the armor that goes over the shins. They have the same, including paint job, armor for belt. Well, I shouldn't say exactly the same. This has some yellow accents. This does not. I think this has gray or no accents. They have essentially a type of inverse painting of the kind of loincloth with leather attachments. And this piece just fits back in if anyone out there is freaked out. These guys are all modular. They have the same sort of bracers, the same hands, but different paint job. Same torso. This guy does not have a slot in his butt for the tail, so I guess that's where Krampus wins out. Different heads, obviously. So very easily, these two characters, you could swap a lot of body parts real quick and make a Krampus with a red body and black head. That might be kind of cool. Might be kind of cool to do. Also, if you're looking to take your Belphegorr and turn him into a sort of a black demon with a red head, you can also do that using these two. More or less, to me, these look like companions and birds of a feather more than anything, like they're a type of gang that hangs out and comes up with sort of their own idea of what fun is. So articulation, as far as this goes, it's like most of the Mythic Legion stuff, people have complained that their articulation is not very good. That is simply untrue. The articulation is great. It has some limitations due to the nature of the sculpting, and you have to sacrifice a little bit of movement to get a lot more character. These are not generic 6-inch bodies like Mezco uses for its Gomez's that are very posable, kind of like the way you find figure arts or Microman figures to be, where they have a lot of hinges and joints and they flex in all directions, and then they just stick a different, cockroach head on it. These are completely fresh characters in terms of the sculpts, worked from the ground up. They made them modular so that they could easily reuse parts, something that's been in the toy industry since the very beginning and is essential to toy making in terms of mass production. And so those who know how to do it well and correctly will do better than those who do not. I think one of the best examples was Masters of the Universe in the 80s, had a bunch of generic what they call bucks, and they reused them. And the Four Horsemen are continuing in that tradition by reusing applicable bodies as needed, giving them the right decorations, swapping out the heads. So the sculpts look great. The articulation is good within the reason of the figure itself. And I believe the last comment that you can make this is the fun factor. And these guys are all about the fun factor. There's really no way to set up a Mythic Legions figure in a photo and not have it totally steal the show. And to me, I think that that's really what you're getting. You're getting show stealers. You're getting characters that are bigger than life. You're not just getting another, Marvel Legends, you know, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. character. You're getting something bigger than life. Okay, not to say that they don't have a bunch of, like, you know, extras and background characters and footmen and army builders. They do, but if you are one of those people who collects toys and you think, well, these guys are really something should be more in like the $20 to $30 range, I think you're missing out. I think you're missing out on really cool, essentially pop culture artwork that isn't going to be around all the time and is going to get harder and harder to get. So we should probably do a little bit of body swapping just because it's kind of fun. And then if I can, I'll try and take you guys out of the vid with some Christmas shots. All right, there we go. A Krampus head on a Belphegorr body, a Belphegorr head on a Krampus body. You can see the mixing and matching at work. If we can get the tail to go, we'll get the tail to go, but otherwise, I want to wish everybody the happiest of holidays. Hope you're having a good time, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.